Hello and welcome to Minnesota Comic Exchange Live. I'm Kai from Noggin Comics. I'm going to bring on our three other guest hosts. Chris, who is scaring the hell out of everybody. Jordan, who's enjoying being scared.
He does.
Hello.
Nora, who probably just smelled a fart. And Jericho asking, what the hell did I come on to?
Look who it is. It's Jay Rico.
What's up, gentlemen?
What's going
Today
on?
I'll be known as Captain No for Momo.
Okay.
He thought he was gonna win.
So, for those who are not in the know, Momo's Maurice. And Jericho beat Maurice in fantasy football this week.
Yes, I did.
So this is now the second week in a row that you've come on as the Kennelly Slayer and No for Momo. So,
Yes, sir.
Maurice is
Yes, sir.
probably going to try to challenge you to a wrestle.
He'll win.
And if that happens, we're gonna have it live streamed on here.
Live streamed indeed.
All right.
We will be taking bets.
I'll even bet for Momo.
No.
Jericho just lays down, pin me. I'm fine.
Oh.
But how's everything going? Now that you're in the shop, Jericho, let's get this out the way. Is there anything in the shop that you want to show off?
Yeah.
I was in there. There's some nice stuff in there.
There's some older stuff, but they're still cool. We have a Justice League #2.
Let me give you a full screen there. There you go.
Yeah, I looked at that one earlier.
Yeah. And then just right behind it we have it's been thoroughly loved, but it's a Justice League 30. But I'll price the move. Happy to go home with it. So, that's what I got for the day. Maybe next time I'll get other things for you, but we got plenty of new stuff out. Lots of variants, ratios, incoming, backstock.
A lot of
and
fantastic
toy sale.
toys.
And we'll be announcing our Black Friday deals and sales next Monday. So that'll be oncoming. So thank you.
Which, by the way, that's a really good lead-in, Jericho. So before we jump into what makes a comic a key this week, and Nora's 5 books to look out for next week, which is a new segment we're going to be doing. Next week, we're going to be going live on Wednesday because Thanksgiving's on Thursday, obviously. And the ideal is to talk about Black Friday sales happening at the comic shops and what to look out for during the weekend. So,
Good deal.
so nice little lead in there, Jericho. So,
Yeah.
I got a question for Jericho.
Yes, sir.
So from this week, I know Nora is going to talk about books coming out next week, but what are you seeing flying off the shelves for this week over there at Hot Comics?
Yeah.
Well, that's actually a really good question. I can tell you that G.I. Joe, both the new issue and the 301 were not heavily ordered, but heavily sought out after. So if you're lucky enough to find a G.I. Joe around town or the reprint of #1, that's a great book. Other books that have been really popular, Image Comics presents the Deviant.
Yep.
With a die cut cover. It's a fun little Christmas story brought to us by Mr. James Tinian. Other than that, let's see here. What was
I might need that #1 reprint to go with my other #1s.
I wish we had one for you. We moved a lot of that book this week. Other than that, we had some X books tying up. There's still obviously some really pretty covers from DC. And for those of you guys who missed out on Last Ronin, the first time around, they are reissuing it. So they're out to #2.
Isn't it black and white now?
Yes, sir. And
Yep.
it's also not heavily ordered. So those of you who are fans of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles might want to put that on your list or go hunt it down.
Awesome.
So-
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Sweet.
Thanks for asking.
I'm
Wow.
excited
Yeah, I
to
guess
read The Deviant. That looks awesome. I heard it's really gory and gruesome.
I recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And you don't
So-
have to worry about the next issue. So
Yeah, and Pop Comics, give more love to more Minnesota shops. Pop Comics releases every morning on Wednesday. They released their comic picks of the week, and The Deviant and Outsiders were mentioned on the link.
Nice.
So,
Well, Outsiders is popular as well. I think that's the number one this week.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that is now the best lead-in to have Nora talk about her 5 books to look out for next week. So
Okay. Don't you have a? I'm gonna say roll it. Don't you have a little spiel coming? Okay.
A drum roll.
Yeah. Okay. So other people can pipe in too about this book or any other. So we got Batman Off-World. Number 1, you got Jason Aaron coming back. He wrote at DC before, right? He's been at Marvel for a long time.
He's been at Marvel. Yep.
Okay, so he's coming to DC for the. I thought I saw somewhere he's coming back, but lies on the internet. And then we got art by Doug Mankey, who has some Minnesota ties. I'm not sure if he still lives here or not. But basically, it's like, what if Batman gets thrown onto an alien planet, and it's a 6-issue miniseries, and it looks awesome. So definitely pick that up. If you
How
see it.
awesome.
Yes. How awesome?
Yeah.
Radical. I don't know.
Radical awesome. All right.
Oh, Jericho's got something.
Jericho, you got there.
I think he's speaking, but he can't say anything.
You're on mute.
Sorry, I apologize to interrupt, but here are the B and the C covers, which I happen to be checking in for next week.
Those are really pretty.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
Is that Starfire? Yeah. That's Starfire, maybe? Or someone who looks like Starfire?
It looks like a combination of Starfire and Poison Ivy.
I'm intrigued even more.
So
Come to your shop and find out next week.
well,
Awesome. All right. I can't remember what's next. Let's see what we got. Oh, yeah. This is a cool looking book from Dark Horse. It's called Mortal Terror. So basically, and I'm a sucker, pun fully intended, for vampires. Right. So it's a vampire. This is what Dark Horse Comics listed it as. It's a vampire flipped Dracula, in which mortality means life and life means death. So I'm down for that. Christopher Golden has written a bunch of other, I think Hellboy universe books. So this book's cool. Let's see what we got next, Kyle. Okay, so this might be some not up everyone's alley, but no judgments if it is, right? So this is.
you bet you'll buy something about Nora. I'm just gonna say that.
No, let's not do that. Okay, so this is a number 1 from the new Distillery Comics, which is an oversized prestige book, and it was previewed in the Distillery. What was it called? The preview book that they put out for all these books they have coming out.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yes. So it's called Somnuts by Tula Lotay, and then Becky Cloonan, which that cover by her is really pretty. She does some good. Her art, both of their art is really great. It's basically a erotic folk horror series, which has been a decade in the making. So it looks really cool. I'm intrigued, and I want to support more female. Yes, that's what Kyle was getting at there. More female artists and writers who are doing their thing.
Amen.
But yeah, it's basically like 1600s witch hunts, which I'm also intrigued by.
You guys get that, Jericho?
What?
You know what? We have been getting Distillery Comics in. I'm not sure if that one's on order. I would imagine it would be. Maybe not a lot of them.
Yeah.
But
there was one by Jock a few weeks ago.
Dawn.
yes.
Yeah, that one was pretty good. Yes. Next we got, this one's gonna be epic. So a number 1 from Image Comics, Holy Roller. So you got Rick Remender, who's one of my favorite indie book writers, joined by the one and only Andy Samberg, and then Joe Throwham, who is I believe the guitarist from Fall Out Boy. So this is basically about this guy, this vigilante hero who, smashes people's faces in with a bowling ball.
What kind of people?
Yeah, what kind of people?
Neo-Nazis.
Oh, I think we all know the lesson from Steven Spielberg that everyone loves some Nazi killing.
Yes.
Yeah, so it looks like this main pro bowler Levi is forced to quit his dream job and return to his hometown, which has now been overrun by new Nazis. So he's a trick bowling ball wielding Jewish superhero battling to liberate his home and bowl a perfect game against crime. It is
Seems like a perfect fit for Andy
Mhm.
Samberg.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Kingpin meets Inglorious Bastards meets Batman.
2 of my favorite movies.
Yeah. So the same the same artist did this. Who did Scumbag?
He did
And
Scumbag.
It's
Yeah.
very satirical, really fun, not serious comic whatsoever. So, and then I think the last one we have, this is the number 3 issue, but the first 2 issues of Kill Your Darlings have been really good. So if you want to go pick that up and find it from Image, it's written by people who Ethan and Griffin. They do the what was it called? The podcast called again?
They did the podcast that had Stigman and His Amazing Friends.
They converted it into a different name.
Yeah,
after that.
and now it's Matt Rosenberg's
Matt
podcast.
Rosenberg. And then Bob Quinn, who is from Minnesota. His artwork's really awesome. It's like dark, but also creative and imaginative. It has that light, like that. Yeah, it's really good. So definitely pick that up, or go and pick up number 1, number 2, and number 3.
So basically, what Nora's getting at, if any of those books intrigue you, message Jericho. Say, hey, please pull it for me.
Yeah.
Or any of the other local comic shops. Seriously.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny now that we got those out of the way. It's something that we want to start talking about every week. Get more people into the comic shop to buy weekly books. Because, I feel like a lot of people go there for what we're going to be talking about right now. So the main purpose of this episode this week is to talk about what is a key comic. Can we define a key? So for the 5 of us here, I bet you we all look at keys in a different way. Would you say that?
Similar but different, yes.
So, Nora, you just got done talking for a little bit, so I'll give you some opportunity to rest your voice.
I mean, mine might be a little different than yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Chris, what is your definition of a key comic?
Something truly notable. Not Superman's cousin's Paul's pet gerbil ate a sandwich for the first time.
That sounds,
You
to
know,
me, that sounds like a key comic. So,
the first of a series, a notable series, probably should be a key. Not every book will be a key. I got a good example. I posted a horror book. This is number 11 and 12 of Monsters on the Prowl, right?
let me give you full screen there, man.
The 9.0 Savannah Pedigree, 9.2. This is number 11. This is a key, technically, to key collector, right? This isn't a key. I don't care. I wanted both.
Yeah.
I think keys kind of get out of control. And I think it's
That is something that we are planning to talk about, the impact and misusage of the word key.
well, Jericho and Jordan are older than me, so they would like be more adult in them remembering basically the 90s collapse of comics.
So quickly, Jesse Lynch said, "Great mummy cover for your comics to show off."
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also,
Thanks, Jess.
thanks for watching too. Yeah, Jordan and Jericho, you guys have been in the game longer than we all have been. I'm not trying to age you guys, but you.
Well, I'll go first because I took a pretty lengthy break. So probably Jericho has something more intelligent to say than I do.
Well, here
Um,
I'll put it. Oh, go ahead. You finish.
So I would say for me, it's more just a common definition of where something new and notable happens. Now, does that mean every key is a desirable book just because, you know, some new characters, silhouette of their toe was included on the last panel? Probably not, but I don't know that disqualifies it from key. But I mean, all that said, there's a lot of people who are out there just looking to buy keys. Maybe this is more of a question for them. For me, I collect because of the historical meaningfulness of different things and for the art. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm interested in that isn't keys or might be minor keys because maybe it's got some kind of meaning historically speaking in pop culture or comics, and a lot of people just like wouldn't care because everyone's going to be different, I would think.
Well, yeah, and basically, so we have to give John Palm credit. He's not here right now. Let's hope that his family's doing well. He sent me a text saying, "Hey, I've been watching YouTube, and I realized people have been saying key comics for books that aren't keys." So it's like, let's talk about that. So, and there's YouTubers out there, and I'm not gonna say any names or anything like that, but they do mention this book's a key, or I think this book's a key. And it's like, is that the reason why you're buying it? Is it you buying it because it's just what you think it is? How do you guys feel about that?
I mean, I think the old adage of buy what you like makes sense, but also at the same time, if you're buying something as an investment because you think, like in Chris's example, that Superman's cousin's hamster is going to have a TV show in
Who ate a sandwich?
20 years, and maybe the sandwich is going to be the TV show. I don't know. Like it just gets to a point where it's pretty silly from an investor standpoint. But if you like the art, if you think it's cool, buy it, have it.
Chris, you got anything there? Look like you were about to say something.
I don't know. If you really want to buy an investment key, it better be on pulp paper.
All right. I'm interested. I'll live with you. So I want to know how can you define a key?
She's like a thing you put in a lock.
This thing I'm taking away from you.
Oh my god, no. I mean, I guess I don't I don't go after that stuff. I kind of like what Jordan's saying.
She's lying.
That's not true. Okay.
But sometimes you end up owning keys, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a first Dr. Afra. Had I wanted that, no. But when I saw it was super dirt cheap, I was like, okay, this is cool. I like the cover, and I can have it. She's one of my favorite characters. But regardless of that, I just think the artwork in the story, I go for that. I like old school art types and stuff too, but I guess I don't go after all the old stuff. Kyle does a lot of that more so than me. If I'm going to read a story, I'll read, single weekly books, or I'll get a trade and I'll read it. Get an omnibus and I'll read it. But yeah, I know there are people who go out there to speculate on books, modern books, older books. I don't know. I guess I just don't collect for that reason. Collect just to have a library and comics, and yeah. Does that make sense, Kyle?
Yeah. So you're basically going back to what Jordan said. You collect what you like.
Yeah, I do.
But you can get expensive stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would be a key.
I just also I'm do I want to spend that much on this paper? That's what I go through on my head. But I'm just frugal. Paper. I'm frugal, I guess, in myself. So.
So Jesse's got something good here.
Yes.
For me, it's desirability versus keys. Great covers, great storylines, etc. But I pick up so-called keys to be able to get money so I can buy dog food. Now, Chris, isn't that cat food to you though?
Cat food, yeah.
Cat food.
No, that's fair. Jesse said, the mummy, they like the mummy cover, and that's not a key.
Yeah.
The other book was the key, but what's a key? it's a 7, it's a Bronze Age horror. It's all keys to me because it's something that I'm into. You know what I mean? But what sucks is when you are into something and you're trying to collect something to completion and something's labeled a key for a silly reason, and then all of a sudden you're paying a lot of money. Like the Bill Murray. Bill Murray made Incredible Hulk 254 very expensive for me.
You said Bill Murray, the actor.
Murray.
Do you want to explain why?
Azar?
Oh, yep.
That made that book very expensive for me when I was going and for. I don't like to talk about it because I'm not going to be able to complete it probably for a very long time, if not ever. But the Incredible Hulk run. So.
No, enough of Momo. Are you back?
I am back.
All right. So, Chris, Jordan, and Nora, define what they think is a key to them. What's the key to you?
A key is a book of note for some kind of occurrence or significance.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't guarantee that it'll be of value, but for the most part, key books are of value. If not, they're of interest, right? Things that may not be important within the story that makes a book a key would also be cover and artist. So there can be a lot of books that are highly sought after, but it doesn't necessarily, there wasn't anything necessarily special about the book, but maybe a great cover, a great artist. But for the most part, that's it. I know that they throw around terms like major or minor keys, and I think, I don't know, they're all categorizations. I don't get lost in it. It just means that there was some significance occurrence. But if it's truly a key, that occurrence also has a play on if it's valuable or not.
So I don't like to use major and minor key because.
No, neither do I.
And that was the next. That was the next question.
Major, have you guys heard of the term blue chip? They don't just use it in collectibles.
That's
use
a high
it in
value.
sports. Like you're a blue chip prospect. You know, a Shaq is a blue chip
like a 5-star prospect.
Yeah. So like upper echelon. So a major key, major Spider-Man keys, major Batman keys, major keys that are, 4 figures up, blue chip books.
So what terms would you guys use in place of major and minor key to kind of
Key book
explain
and
where
blue
they
chip.
fall in the spectrum? Key book and blue chip?
Yeah.
Anything can be a key, but it has to be significant to be a blue chip.
Yep.
So like your blue chip books are gonna be your Fantastic Four, first appearance of Fantastic Four, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I would say the Action Comics that no one can afford. So I'll go back to Jesse's comment here.
Yeah, that's very true, Jesse. Like as soon as NYX3, as soon as Spider-Gwen, as soon as Miles, when those go down, they all go down because those are like the only really. I mean, Elsa Bloodstone used to be an expensive book. Now it's not. Modern keys.
Can I touch on that real quick about Bloodstone?
Yeah.
I was not really privy to who the character was before By Night came out. After watching that, I fell in love with that character, and I'm glad that I fell in love with this character after the TV show / special, because now I can get it at a lower price than that it was. So, and Nora's like, say what? Yes, I'm on the hunt for that series.
But
I got it for sale.
Yeah, modern keys are very volatile. That's why if it's made out of magazine paper, don't invest in it.
So yeah, and that's the quality of paper today does suck. Opposed to there's some good, like going back to Distillery, their quality is really good, but that's the magazine size cover.
Yeah.
What are you paying for that? $10?
The sizing in itself and the challenges to meeting that is a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, it's like $9.
To magazine meaning a newer comic. So like if you open a comic and then it looks like newspaper, that's a pulp comic. You open it up and it looks like you're going through like a Vogue magazine pages still.
Kind of glossy.
Yeah. It's different paper. That's why comics. You ever picked up a current comic long box and then picked up a long box of DC from the 80s?
Mm-hmm.
One weighs a lot more than the other.
Yeah. Well, it's like you and I both have Mr. Zero's first appearance. That's the biggest key in my collection, is Mr. Freeze and Zero. And the paper quality of that is different from any book you read now.
Oh yeah.
Like what you're getting at. So, but yeah, so you want, if you could go ahead, Jericho.
Well, I think it's also, just in short, also discuss what the primary keys are. First appearance, second appearance, third appearance, cameo, right? Those are the big ones, right? Now, yeah. So, and then some people even say that appearances have a hierarchy as to what you would seek or what's more highly sought after. But definitely those are keys. Obviously, a death is a key, a joining, a costume, but it doesn't always mean that those are more valuable.
Like I just grabbed
Yeah.
this, and the reason this is a key is it retells an origin story, and it's the first time Daredevil and Captain America meet up.
Oh, it's also the only Jack Kirby cover anywhere in that vicinity in that run, which I think is pretty sweet.
And I'm glad you said that too,
That's
because
the only reason I wanted it.
yeah. Well, and that was one of the things I was getting at too. Is like when you're searching for a key, because we've all searched for a key. What app do you use to find these keys? Like, I know we use eBay sometimes, but
what do you mean find the key?
So like people have these apps.
Do you not know what it is? And are you trying to find out if the book you're holding is a key?
Yes.
Because that's how I imagine the start of the process would be.
Yeah. Because like I've seen at comic shops, Nora and I, you have people here who used to work at comic shops. And we've seen people on their phone looking at if that book's a key. How do you feel about that?
Well, they're either looking at eBay or they're looking at Key Comic Collector. That's fine if they're gonna buy it. Key Comics keep comic book stores open.
I'm okay with people using apps and doing stuff. I think the challenge becomes when you start having conversation regarding price and condition. I think that's where it gets weird. I think a customer should be allowed to do the research. I think it's different nowadays that they have to see the research happen in front of them. Now there's ethics involved in there, and that's another conversation. But I'm okay. I want people to be informed. Then when we go to the next step for purchasing a transaction or trading, then we work our way through that. But I want everyone to come to the table with as much information as possible.
Well,
hopefully from the same place.
Jesse just made a comment about Key Collector.
Yeah.
Who here has that app? I bet you we all do, don't we?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We all pay what, $2 a month for it?
I don't pay for it anymore.
I pay for the year.
You pay for the year?
It was a gift, but since we have it, I just want to say I feel it is a good starting point. I do not feel that there's any one reference point for anything, but Key Collector will help you identify if there's any interest in that book and why. Now the pricing, that's a different thing. But in regards to, is this book sought after? Is it potentially a key? That's a good place to start.
Yeah, don't use Key Collector to price things, people.
No. Well, and they just started integrating cover pricing too. Well, CLZ.
That would be CLZ.
Yeah.
So, but that was
at one point had Go Collect. But
yeah,
so
I was gonna say you have Key Collector, you have Cover Price, you have eBay. Those are the 3 places that you think you should go to. Is there any other recommendations if you're gonna go into collecting keys that you should look at?
I mean, if we're talking
Honestly,
slab books, there's GPA analysis, there's short box, there's what am I missing?
But for identifying keys, there's less apps, right? You'd have to recognize what the keys are.
CLZ will tell you what the key is. Other than that, the best, and the thing is they don't have every book in CLZ or in Key Comic Collector. That's why they'll allow you to take a picture of your own book and upload it, and then they probably just take your information that you put in and add it to the system eventually. But You're going to collect keys and you want to know right now, you find out it's a key and you want to know right now what the fair market value is. You type it into eBay, you go to filter, you go to sold, and then you take the top 5. And it might not be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because there might be stuff in the list that doesn't make sense, but you get 5. You know, might be 2 from yesterday, 1 from like 5 days ago, and 2 from last week. And you average that.
And I know.
Look at time frames too.
Yeah, I was
Sometimes
gonna
it
say
can
I know a lot of YouTubers do use prices from a year ago compared to now to show the growth of decline of that book, to help people realize, like, are you overpaying for this book? This book was once worth $100, now it's only selling for $40. So I think that's helpful sometimes too. But there is people out there that do influence you to pay premium prices for books that are not worth it.
Oh yeah, Key Collector put out tomorrow any book on the planet in there, like, hey, this is the update, blah blah blah. If they just in the hottest keys that you get when you pay for it, if they put any book they want tomorrow, there's gonna be everybody out there on eBay. They're gonna sell fast, and then as soon as the sellers realize this book's hot, they're gonna take down their listing and put it back up for $79.99 or something crazy like that. It's exactly what happens. You don't need Key Collector to tell you what books are going to be hot. You just have to read the business section. Because the studio is for big business.
Jesse just commented, and hey, Jesse, thank you for being so interactive. We really appreciate this. I am happy when I price things overstraight.
Overstreet.
MKs make me. MKs
makes me happy to
Yeah,
do that.
Makes me happy to do that. I don't need top dollar all the time. My mom always said, leave some meat on the bone for other people. And I'll be honest, there's times like, so, Nora just mentioned that she doesn't really go searching for keys. But I have seen you in a comic shop before when you see a key that you think's a key or a known book, and you're like, that's a good price for it. Should we think about buying? Because of basically what Jesse just said, you can pay, you can get it for a good price sometimes. So, one question I want to ask though. Oh, our friend Vincent just commented.
Yeah, you never want to use it for pricing.
So,
sorry.
Yeah. Because doesn't that updates per year, right? It's like a printed edition.
I know they do it more than once, but it could just be, it's either twice or once. If they announce a movie tomorrow, or if they announce a movie in July, and the price of the book spikes for 6 months, like times 10, it's not going to catch it. More per decade.
Yeah. It's funny you say that about films too, because when we were in the comic shop recently, I made a comment that I think that there might be an increase in interest in books again now that the strike's over, the writer and actor strike's over. But someone in the shop did make a comment that there is no correlation really between those who are going to see the movie and those who are coming into the shop.
No, I've heard that before too.
So, and when you can't, in my opinion, when you can't promote something, no one's going to care about it, really. So that's why I think there might be in my opinion, there might be a slight increase now.
I think it makes sense with a slight increase. I don't know about like a massive, like 1-to-1 correlation increase, but I mean, I don't see how there wouldn't be a slight increase.
Nora and I can tell you that when we used to be at the shop and a movie would come up, we would get phone calls or questions. Do you have this character? Do you have the first appearance of this character? What's the most recent trade? So,
I mean, people weren't necessarily sorry. They just wanted to read something with that character. They didn't really care about. Well, sometimes they were like, "Well, is that the beginning?" And I said, "Well, for this certain person or this certain, like, I don't know, Miles." I'm like, "Well, we don't have that, but you can start here with jumping in, and it recaps for you. So, yeah.
No, Jesse, we love all the interaction. It's good.
Just-
I just don't. And you can leave meat. My opinion's this: if you want to leave meat on the bones, if you're selling locally, say something's $100 on eBay, make it 80, because that's what you're going to get from eBay. You want to leave a little bit more meat on the bones, drop it to 70.
Well, and we've talked about this in previous conversations, not about keys, but Minnesota prices are different than anywhere else around. Like we were talking about conventions. Some people don't want to pay a lot of money to go to conventions in Minnesota because they take in consideration parking, traffic, gas. There's so much to take in consideration.
Food.
So if you could get, a book, if you go to, let's say, oh crap, I'm drawing a blank. The comic shop in Denver, Colorado.
Mile High Comics.
Mile High Comics. That would make more sense. You go there, you can find a book at a premium price. Extremely high, most likely. But you go to a shop here, you're going to find it maybe $20, $30 cheaper, if not more. So I'm using Mile High as an extreme example, because Mile High has been known for having higher prices.
About 100% too high prices.
When we went to New York, stopped off at Midtown, and their prices are kind of high, but we accepted that because we knew where we were at, basically. So New York prices are going to be different than Minnesota prices. So one question I want to ask is, what type of keys do you find yourself searching for when you're hunting?
It's really the same stuff for me as what drives me to collect something that, well, whether it's something missing in a run, I'm a bit of a completionist, or something that has historical significance. So, like, for example, we're going to talk about the Nerdin' Out comic swap coming up, and I was able to pick up Star Wars #1 that day from the store.
Because I told him about it. Should have bought it out from under him.
Well, anyway, now it's
That's
at my house
awesome.
and it's mine. And that book has massive historical significance.
Mhm.
I believe the story with that one is that there was different companies pursuing comic companies do licensing. Stan Lee said he didn't want to do it. Roy Thomas, in a defining moment of his career, talked Stan Lee into first, I think, getting the Conan license. That was going well. And then that kind of parlayed into the Star Wars license. And they went from being in the red to being in the black. And that potentially saved comics right there. So I feel like something like that just fits right in with the reasons I collect. And I was thrilled to add it, even though it's not a very high grade copy.
Oh, you're talking to Nora over here who loves Star Wars, and she got a reprint of issue #1 that she thought wasn't now a reprint. But when she found out that, because she got it for dirt cheap, and even when you found out it was a reprint, like, no, at least I have that in my collection.
Like that early 80s one, like the 83 one.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got one of them too. But yeah, now I have the original as well. And I'm thrilled about it, even though it's probably like I don't know, I think I logged it in as maybe like a 3.5 or a 4.
But yeah, you got it at a local swap though too, which is another cool story.
Yeah, granted, I got it from the store that the swap was held at. So I mean, they didn't charge for tables. I know we're going to be talking about that, but it was definitely beneficial for them because it brought in a bunch of traffic. But I'll leave more conversation about that till that segment.
Yeah, Jesse, I was gonna actually bring this up too. That was John Palm that dropped that little nugget for us that Frank Frazetta was approached to do Star Wars, which blew my mind because that would have been amazing. But Jordan, I want you to do me a favor. If Howard Chankin is ever announced to come back to Minnesota, I want you to grab Star Wars #1 and have him sign it.
Don't do it. He hates it.
So I'll make sure to bring one that he likes okay too.
Okay.
I'll have to bring a Dominic Fortune or something and have the Star Wars one right underneath it.
But here's Hey Kid Comics.
You'll get him going for hours.
I will say no words about Star Wars.
All right. So Nora, I know that you don't really search for keys.
Manny.
Nerdtastic News, Manny, Station, back at you. We need you to get on here, man. We need that energy. So,
We're all zapped. Is that what you're saying?
was Howard happy with his Shallow series? Let me contact Howard. Believe it or not, I actually have his contact information still. So, all right. So, but
no, you were going to ask me something, but you skip over it. Move on to the next.
all right. So the next question I had was, does it influence your buying habits? And I think you kind of touched on that already.
I mean, it influences cost, and
Yeah.
there's kind of a defined budget typically.
You guys got Nora, Chris, got anything to add to that, or
What are we talking about? And stuff. God, I'm good at that. No.
Tiff's always pretty good about keeping her keys in one place. My problem is I put them in my pocket, and next thing I know, the car alarm are going off because I sat down wrong. I hope you don't fart, man. You might unlock the door.
Or start it.
Or start.
In the winter, that would be good, though.
Yeah. No, what I was asking is that, does keys influence your buying habit?
Like, of that book? Or
I'm just saying in general. Like, when you're hunting, is that what you're going for? And I'm asking these questions. I know we've kind of answered them already, but I'm trying to get the community involved to answer the question too.
It depends. If I am gonna tell myself I'm gonna spend $100, okay, I could have all that stuff in my hands already. But if I see a key and it's
I'm gonna drop it for that.
And I'm like, hey guy, will you take 100? He says yes. If that key is already a good deal and what I want, I'm taking that one book over all the other ones.
And so you're talking about to the seller, not your internal monologue to yourself.
Could be both at the same time. But the thing is
thanks for joining, Jesse.
There's a reason the best covers out there are keys and are expensive, because they're the best. Okay, there's a reason why, Jack Kirby's Silver Surfer covers are expensive. Okay, they're expensive, and I want them to be expensive, and that's a goal to get it right. So, like, yeah, you can go buy. I like doing runs. See, that's where I'm at. I like runs. So eventually I'm going to need the keys. And that's what sucks about it. There's no skipping the keys for me. And I know Jordan is a run collector too. So
Paul St. John just said, always looking for first appearances, big fights, not so much number ones. And that's kind of what we were talking about earlier, is like, keys, there's so many ways to define what a key is. So it doesn't have to be a number one. There's some series of number ones not selling for that much. Then there's an issue that comes out that sells higher. So truthfully, for me collecting, Nora made the comment that she's not much of a key buyer, but it does influence me. I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday at Issues Needed, shout out to Jason and Sam there. We were sitting there. I'm looking at the top shelf. I'm looking at those books. Like, do I want that one? I want the first appearance of Hate Monger. Why? I don't know. But Nora's like, why do you want Fantastic Four? You don't like Fantastic Four. Like, but going off what Jordan said, historic purpose. There's a lot of history with those books. So.
I mean, there are a few that I would pay for. I'm just contradicting myself left and right. Like Poison Ivy, Harley, like those are two. Yeah. There are a few.
Now, Chris, Nora mentioned Poison Ivy and Harley. Would you consider those major keys or blue chip? Because modern books.
Much rather have Poison Ivy
over Harley.
Than Harley. Harley's a modern book.
Mm-hmm.
It is sought after. That's another one of the modern-y ones that's like expensive. And yeah, I want that one too. But I'm buying. If we're talking my Batman run, right? And the next books I buy for that run are Poison Ivy and or Scarecrow. Because the thing is, once I cross one of them off the list, right, then I can get 20 books for the cost of that one key to fill around it when I'm going after that again next. It's evil. Every Hulk book I need costs $400 or more.
That's crazy.
Yep.
And one of them costs 5 numbers, Nora.
You want to tell us what number that is?
Number 1.
Number 1.
And that's the one you're considering selling your kidney for?
I got a Ford Ranger that I'd take like 0.5 for. Make a deal.
I mean, there are some good X-Men books I want too, but oh man, it's hard.
So Manny's talking to me here because I don't know that I'll ever go out specifically looking for keys. Most of the time I'm hunting. I'm looking for biker mice from Mars, street sharks, cowboys, Mumasa, obscure key, tops. Because here's the thing. I was just about to say this, but you just said it.
90s.
Manny loves 90 cartoons. I love 90 cartoons.
Then why don't you have a bigger cartoon collection, dude? I'm gonna show Manny my collection of cartoon stuff, but not you.
You have to. You have to, because Street Sharks, Biker Mice from Mars. I picked up Biker Mice from Mars once, and Nora's like, "Why do you need that in your collection?"
You're making
I'm
me
like, "Because
sound
you
horrible.
never got to experience that growing up."
Manny doesn't have those complete yet.
Manny, do you have them complete?
Yeah, that's my question, because I couldn't do that, Manny. Like, once I'm like starting something, I need to stop. Like, I need to go get it done.
That's
I
so
mean,
true.
So Manny, this can be taken in many different ways, but I'm still going to show it.
I must see.
I must see it. Chris might have you pay for that. I'm just going to say.
I grabbed a bunch of tops and kids stuff for the Make-A-Wish stuff at Most Wanted. Gave me a short box and said to fill it.
Yeah. Let's quickly pivot. We can get back to this conversation, but I want you to talk about that. What amazing stuff the community did today.
And then like go into the nerd and out stuff too. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah,
we can do that too. I was contacted I think last Thursday night.
So less than a week ago.
Friday. Yeah, like 5 or 6 days ago, about a little boy in East Bethel who's getting a treehouse wish.
From what organization?
Make-A-Wish Foundation. And it's, it's horrible. He's got systematic fibrosis. I can't say it.
Cystic fibrosis. See ya.
Nora's got me.
I was a respiratory care major for a few years. Right. Sorry.
Well, 10-year-old boy going through that. Any child, any person, horrible. So he's getting.
I know some adults that have gone through that, and it's tough for a full-grown adult, much less a child.
Right. Well, he's getting a hideaway cabin, treehouse, revealed on next Tuesday, and we have enough comic. I got a feeling we have more stuff than the bookcase holds, which is always good. So
he can put the boxes on the floor and make it a cool treehouse. Comics everywhere.
We got a couple, just to make sure, we got a couple short boxes, so everything's uniform. It's all in comic boxes. It's pretty cool. It's pretty special. Got 3 shorts and 3 longs full of single issues, trades, kids' books. I got local creators that I've supported. Your books are in there if they're kid oriented. It's just really cool. They're coming to pick it up tomorrow, 9 a.m. from me here at my house, which is really nice of them. But they have to get a couple more things for the wish. They're going to be getting everything ready over the weekend. Final stuff on Monday, reveal on Tuesday the 21st.
And Chris, we got some donations from some local comic shops, right?
Yeah, and we'll think of it in a post tomorrow, but we can run through them right now. Issues needed, big thank you. Most wanted, big thank you. Hot comics, big thank you. Minneapolis, but hot comics in general, big thank you. They're always willing to help. And then level up, St. Paul, Hastings, Minneapolis, thank you. We also got personal donations from Jonas. Remember Jonas? We got donations from admin Sam, who stopped by literally right before this podcast. I got some stuff for him. The Minnesota Comic Exchange went and got some stuff for him from Issues Needed. It's going to be great. Oh, the Minnesota Comic Book Association, President Steve Henniger got me 2 long boxes. Very, very much appreciate that. Picked up those 2 long boxes from him earlier of kids stuff. So this kid's gonna have a lot to read. So
Are they gonna show his reaction and like share that?
I think that stuff's real personal, and
Yeah.
I don't know how they handle that.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's no like HIPAA stuff, I don't think, but it's probably release form and like I don't know if they can. I mean, I can certainly ask if they can. That'd be really cool. Hopefully, there's like they have press and media coverage, so maybe they'll have a video of it. Yeah, I would hope so. I really would hope so. So
like a segment, yeah.
I'll ask Rachel that when they come pick that stuff up tomorrow morning.
And
Nice.
I just want to touch on something too. There was a post that we had in our group that we were talking about how it is important for kids and the young generation to read comics. These movies, getting the kids into comics is important. And as a community and group, we just made a wish for a kid, helped make a wish for a kid. The getting into comics, having these comics. I mean, everyone here is 30 and over. We have to get the younger generation reading. So
100%. And do more good in the world.
But yeah, I'm floored. It doesn't take everybody to pitch in and help, but the amount that we were able to get, and we've done stuff for Make-A-Wish in the past, and Mikey at Rockhopper helped and partnered with us on some toys from that. It's nice. I wish they would give us less than a week, because then we get some crazy stuff accomplished, right?
If you gave us a month
with more than 6 days,
But for what we had with the time, we got a lot.
It's true. I got on the horn that afternoon. They reach out. I have a contact on Facebook who I found through Twin Cities Geeks. They were like, "Hey, we're looking for blah blah." I was like, "We will do this." And now her name's Gabriella. And now we are contacts. So she reached out to me, and then I reach out to Rachel, who's like boss lady over at Make-A-Wish Minnesota. So
nice.
Yeah,
that's what this community is all about too, right? So do you want to keep talking keys, or come back to it later, or do you want to talk about
upcoming
Mr. Nice Guys?
Oh yeah,
Nerding Out over the weekend.
Well, yeah, Jericho's here too.
So, how was that experience? Was that the first time, besides the exchange show, that Mr. Nice Guys was at a swap?
I believe
it
so.
is.
So, how was that experience for you guys?
It was good. We had a half a dozen dollar book boxes. A lot of MC members swung by and we're picking through, finding stuff. Had some price stuff. It was a great way to get the community out, get people out. Met some new people, sold some books.
Who needs a Captain America 100 with a bunch of text bubbles on it? Low grade better than no grade, guys. Come on now.
That one did not sell. We'll just call it the artist edition.
It's the artist edition. There's a lot of hot takes on that cover.
I think the artists were like 8 years old, but still artist edition nonetheless.
Were they talented?
No comment. They're more scripters.
So
scripters than artists.
And this
I'm
is
not
coming
getting
from a
that.
Lifebug fan.
Yeah, that's not great.
Well, we also saw a folder of Chris, laying under the table.
No, you didn't.
You saw nothing.
Selling comics makes the guy tired.
It
Let's
does.
move on.
I got to rant about something real quick.
I'll give you the full screen then. This is
All right. I
Chris
got
is
this
time to
book.
rant.
I was like, oh man, this is a great book to buy on eBay. It's about to end. It's not very expensive. Nothing about it being chock full of pen in the description.
We got another artist edition, eh?
Nothing. The pictures were taken so that you couldn't see that it was chock full of pen, and you probably won't be able to see it when I show it. So it presents really nicely, and I don't know where my other copy is, but if I did, I'd show them side by side.
Oh, there's a huge glare. You like tilt it left and right.
I mean, I took it out.
You can't see anything.
To the naked eye, you can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see it in my picture.
I mean, look at that crystal clear camera that you have, but we can't see it. No, I can't see it.
Oh, you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it now.
You can see
There
it.
it is.
Oh, is it colored over the chains?
It's colored over
It's outlined.
everything black.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see it now.
So when you open it up,
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
it's not even connected. I'm glad I got this book for $10 total, but it's just not great. It's definitely a reader. I'm gonna keep it, but
Mm-hmm.
not happy about it.
Was that your rant? Are you gonna rant more about it?
No, that's it. I'm just not
Okay.
happy about it.
The end of the rant.
Well, I think that should be a new segment that we have. Chris's weekly rant.
So when can we see Mr. Nice Guys again in action?
Ooh, good question. We will be making an appearance at the Toy Posse show on November 26th in Bloomington.
Oh,
So
it's coming up.
So next weekend.
Yeah, we've got some new stock that we haven't brought to market yet. So if you've came and looked through our boxes, we're gonna have some new stuff for you. The new stuff is more focused on early to mid 80s Marvel primarily.
It's all pulp comics.
This is true. There's a few other things I think will get some people excited, but just in terms of sheer volume, that's what most of it is. What else? What did I miss? Chris and Jericho?
You still got that book that Manny wants.
Oh, Jericho's
What's the
busy
book
with
that Manny
customers.
wants?
Radiant
about
Book number 1, signed and remarked by Aaron Bartlett.
Did you say Aaron Bartlett?
Maybe.
Okay, just checking.
So going back to Manny, he actually replied back to you about the collection. He goes, "Oh, I do. I'm on my third set of Cowboys from Mimasa. Just grab another Tales of the TMNT 52
Good.
just to see him cross over again.
See, you gotta have as many as you can. Gotta get them all.
I got problems, which leads to issues.
Issues of comics.
I spent way too much money on an auction just to get a run of DuckTales.
Dude, the DuckTales is awesome, though.
Taught me many life lessons as a child. Not even kidding.
I mean, yeah. Before he came out, we were talking about DuckTales too. So, there is a show happening this weekend. I'm not sure if any of us will be there, but do want to give it some attention. Confluence. First time it's happening. It is a cultured multiverse is the subtitle, I should say. It is happening November 18th and 19th at the Northrop King building in Minneapolis. It is a space for art and connection for BIPOC nerds. Unfortunately, I don't think any of us will have the time to go there this weekend, but kind of want this to, succeed. It'd be interesting to see the future of this. And if anybody's watching that is attending Confluence, I would love to hear your thoughts about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let us know how it is.
Just a side note, those who ever participate in the Northeast Art Crawl, that building is one of the more regularly used locations. It's an art installation and loft units for artists. It's really friendly. It's a really cool spot. But if you are out and about, please go out and support.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see that place. Looks cool.
Basically, if right now, Nora, you work overtime this weekend, so you won't be able to attend that show. And let's be honest, Sunday night we're watching football, right?
Oh yeah,
Vikings,
Vikings.
So
I got school.
well, you got school. So I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. We're at the hour mark. You guys want to continue, end it? We can keep talking key comics. This is something that probably could go on for 2-3 hours discussion about. If you want to talk fantasy sports, up to you guys.
Yeah, let's do a quick 5-10 minutes on fantasy sports. Sounds
All
good
right.
to me.
So
I don't know
Well,
if
we
Paul is
already-
still watching. Just wanted to mention quick that Paul is currently in 3rd place in our Yahoo League and holding down a playoff spot pretty solidly. So just wanted to give him a quick shout out.
Dang it, Paul.
Paul, I'm shocked actually. I was kind of not paying attention in Yahoo, and I realized that I'm actually not terrible in that league. I could win out and make the playoffs still, looks like. So John Palm, on the other hand, man, I'm sorry. I know you. I wish you well, but your team sucks in that league. So let's just start off by sharing the screen real quick.
Never surrender.
All right, so no for Momo. Jericho beat Maurice 130 to 127. I think this officially eliminated Maurice from the playoffs. So mathematically, I don't think he can make it into the playoffs now.
Me either. It's all right.
But I think Jericho's team's coming on, especially when you're looking at 42 points from Keenan Allen.
That's not going to happen every week, though.
No. Joe
I'll be
Burrow.
Key books for trade of players.
So, and I'm actually surprised that we have not had something like that for this league yet.
We're going to keep the fantasy football transactions inside the fantasy football league.
Why did you trade Jalen Hurts away? So that was a smart trade, though. Let's be honest. Johnny got a win against Dustin. Johnny's not here to talk about his victory.
Unless he's
That's all right.
watching, he might jump on if he hears about football.
But Nora and I faced Johnny this weekend, so that should be fun. The annihilation of the week happened. Jason obliterated Joe.
Oh my gosh, literally.
Yeah. And this really put Jason in a spot for the playoffs going forward.
Yeah, he kind of started off slow, but
Just crept. It felt like he just crept right in.
well, maybe that is as his mustache grew and his power increased.
The dad
But,
look.
whatever happened, it's working well.
I'm sure Austin's happy he won. Like, I know Austin.
Yeah, horrible.
Yeah, Chris, man, your team is seriously the best team on paper. You just can't win.
It's all right. It's my curse. It's my curse.
But I gotta admit, though, I absolutely love the fact that you started Josh Dobbs.
Oh yeah.
Because he's
He
putting
did
points
good
up.
for you too.
It was just basically him and Tyler Lockett. I mean, you finally had a good game by James Cook. If he
All
didn't
that
fumble
said, finally a good game from Geno Smith on the other side.
the ball. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, basically, Austin would have to win out to make the playoffs. Chris, I think you're out, but
Yeah, probably.
you
Yeah,
can
you might
play
be cut.
spoiler. So, Jordan, you faced Mr. Luck. You faced John Palm, and you had a chance, but that game from CD Lamb really didn't help out that much. So,
Yeah. No, not so much, but
go sports.
we'll give it a go for the rest of the matchups, and hopefully I can sneak into a playoff spot.
Well, I think the fact that you've definitely upgraded that QB going forward.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, this just hurt my feelings. That's just what it comes down to. I had to make a move immediately afterward for quarterback.
2 points from Trevor Lawrence and losing Deshaun Watson for the season.
That wasn't great.
And then us, Nora and I beat Zappo.
All right,
By
I'm
a
available
long
now.
We established dominance over Zappo. I'll just say that. Despite getting 0.2 points from my running back. So that's kind of why Jordan, you and I making that trade made sense.
Yeah, Kyle got a brand new running back.
Hey,
Way better
you guys
than
wanna-
either of these fellows.
You guys want to see something cool before we go?
Yeah.
All right.
Did you say Spike?
All right, check this out. This is Tom Wynn.
Oh yeah.
Games
Have you read it yet?
page art.
Yes. It's so cool.
From Hate Stings?
Yeah, from Hate Stings. We're going to actually give this away one day on the exchange.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's pretty sweet. We also got whoever wins that, when we give it away, will get a copy of Hate Stings.
And
Look at
that
Jericho count that money.
is... And Hate Stings, that's just not Tom Wynn. It's also Key Champagne and what's the other guy's name?
Oh, it's James.
James Curry.
James Curry, yep.
Key Champagne, I think he's part of New Pain Publishing.
And I know that they had a release party for this in Hate Stings
Yep.
not that long ago. So
Yep.
I couldn't make it, but we did help back this to completion, the Minnesota Comic Exchange, and the reason we did that was to give this stuff away. So we're going to do that. It was to help a local artist and to give this stuff away. We have one copy, another copy of this also, that we'll also give away at some point.
well, in talking about us having stuff, you may realize that we've got the new logo for the live, the MCE Live.
We got stickers on the
We
way.
got stickers coming, yeah. So when you,
Everything though.
so when you see us at a show, that the exchange shows, get a sticker, support the live show. So
The last thing we gotta talk about is we're gonna post Black Friday sales.
well, yeah, that's gonna. We mentioned that when we first started off, like first 5 minutes. We mentioned what we're doing next week about how we're not going to be live on Thursday.
Yeah.
Because we want you. Well, we're all going to be with family. We're all going to be eating turkey and watching football. So instead, we're going to be on Wednesday, New Comic Book Day, to talk about Black Friday and Small Business Saturday for local comic shops. There's already been a few shops that have announced what they're doing for Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. But we want to sit down and talk about where to go, where to get the good deals at.
If anybody works at the shops or owns the shops, by chance watches this, tell us, reach out, send me or one of the admin your stuff. Tell us when we can announce it. We'll talk about it on the show.
Even one better, come on the show.
Yeah. Or also, since we don't want to just leave it one avenue because we want to get the people the deals and where they're going to be, if you're at one of these shops and you know this information from a flyer they have posted, reach out so we can talk about it so everybody can know about it. Get in comic shops and buy a bunch of stuff for the holidays this year.
I mean, Nora and I, that's our plan. Our plan is to support local businesses because, I mean, Amazon gets enough of the money and Target gets enough of the money. So why not get the books for your family at local comic shops? Or toys.
You to quit buying comics as toilet paper. You have to go to Target for that, Kyle.
I'm sorry, I buy Valiant or Lifeboat books for my toilet paper. So
My friend Jordan has some for you.
What was that?
My friend Jordan has some.
He's just sitting in the dark. He has
I think he's plotting on us. He's like,
he is plotting.
Just wait, you guys.
Not plotting.
Lock your doors. Lock your doors.
Sitting patiently.
He's like, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go home.
Also,
now.
if you play any of the horns in the band, we need you to make us an outro music.
I used to play the trumpet, but I
There
don't
you
have
go.
Ask you, Nora, damn it.
I don't have it anymore.
I can play the flute. We have one. It was my aunt's.
Oh, you got Chris, aka Lizzo, Chris.
You know what? I could start practicing.
Do it.
Next thing you know, he comes in playing good as hell.
He's gonna be in like Anchorman mode.
She's probably. I'm not in. She's probably in way better shape than me. Like, I could go dance on a stage, sweating, playing the flute, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll just say this: if we ever get 100 views at one time, I'm going to make an MCE dance for you. Okay?
Oh my god.
Shirt or no
Deadpool?
shirt?
Yeah.
Single
Deadpool.
ladies.
I'll actually try to play the flute on here if there's 100 people all at once.
Yep. So if you're watching this, tell your friends. Tell your mom and dad. Tell your brother.
Like a
sister.
holiday special.
Holiday special calendar shoot for the MCE.
Oh my god.
Don't be afraid of sports, Leaf.
No, actually, I know we're running a little longer than usual, but this is a topic. And one of the topics that we're going to talk about is sports comics, because there is a market out there. I know, Chris, you buy sports comics, right?
Sometimes
I do.
You buy
Sometimes.
sports, yeah.
It's just one of those things. It's like it was so siloed for so long. Like you can like sports, you can like comics, you can like mud wrestling, you can like monster trucks, you can like whatever you want all at the same time. It's beautiful.
Hey, you said wrestling. Remember, you guys gave me these Nash comics? So,
Those were in the Kyle pile.
yeah. Wrestling. That's another it's a niche. It's a niche in a niche, basically, because there's wrestling comics out there, sports comics.
I got Bill Russell's pre-rookie card first appearance.
Yeah. So, Leaf, come on, watch the show, because one of these times we're going to be talking about sports and comics, because there is crossover there. So,
I'm gonna get.
I don't know if that was sarcasm or genuine. So,
I think it was just him. He was crying. He was laughing. So maybe it was both.
It was both.
And Randy, thanks. So
Thanks.
so we're going on an hour and 15. Any final things you guys want to say before we head out? I know, Jericho, you haven't had much to say. You've been pretty busy.
Yeah, I know, man. Everyone decided to come in at 6:59.
Yay! I love when that happens.
Let's thank Jericho for being a point man with me on this Make-A-Wish.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yes.
no, you know what? It's a little thing to help. Chris has done a great job at being a contact and working with the people from Make-A-Wish and other organizations. So I'm happy to assist. But I do appreciate everyone that was able to come out and support. Thank you to Mike from Hot Comics. And, of course, my regular customer, Jonas. It was awesome of him. He donated a full long box of his own stuff. He asked that it just go to a kid that really would cherish him. And no, it was really cool. So thank you, everyone that can help. And for those who just come out to support. So thank you, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you, man.
No worries.
Oh yeah, and earlier Jesse said, Jericho, that he liked your attitude
Oh, well, I
when
tried
you
my
were
best,
talking
you know?
about all the
Keys.
keys and like all the language and all the
Yeah,
what to use and stuff.
there's a lot there, but I think, you know, when people, we can all use the same terms and understand what they mean, you know, it makes a lot more sense, and it has, I don't know, it can help, and I'm happy that people are taking an interest. So thank you.
Very
So
well.
yeah, do a little quick sign out here. Remember, we're not going to be on Thursday next week. It's going to be Wednesday.
But what time? The same time or TBD?
Update your calendars, everybody.
Update your calendar. Jericho, that's a good point.
Yes, sir.
Do you work on Wednesday next week?
I may be working the Wednesday before. If not, oh, you know what? I realize what you're asking. I hope I don't work. I want to be free to be able to sit on the conversation, enjoy all the fun. I know it's challenging, so I appreciate everyone's patience while I try to do this while I'm here.
Or should we
Well,
do
I
it
look
at
forward to next
later?
week.
I was
Later.
going to ask, should we do it later? I mean, Jordan, could you take a meeting at home? So,
Yeah, I might have time to make it home. Later would work.
so
Chris
yeah,
looked like he was snooping over there.
we were making an announcement at what time. It may be the same time. It also may be a little later to give us a little flexibility on time because we don't have to wake up early on Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, so it give me some time to take a nap.
So
I got only one thing. I just want to thank everyone in the Minnesota Comic Exchange who comes out to whatever shop, whatever store, whatever sale, whatever event, and share your positive energy with the rest of the community. It's great to be not so much recognized, but it's nice to see and hear positive things from people who you know, make a lot of friendships and do some business through here. So thanks for everyone for being part of this.
Yeah, I always enjoy seeing the familiar faces out and about.
Yes.
you know, I think it was Twin City Con when we realized that the exchange does mean a lot to his community. We hear it a lot too, that the exchange matters. I'll admit, yesterday I heard a few things that almost made me a little teary-eyed about what the exchange does. So, Jericho just popped out, but
Yeah, to close it.
So I think it's time for us to wrap this up. But there's no Loki tonight, which sucks.
So what are the choices? We got football and question mark.
Well, we have new I got a backlog that's about 50 books long right now. So
Yeah,
I might read,
books.
I might game. So I know
I
Chris
do
is
have the rest of the Deadpool Bad Blood issues to read.
You
Bad
can't
or
read.
Blood.
Oh, Jericho's back.
Jericho's back.
To
He's
throw
got
out there that if there's people who are interested in participating on the podcast, or maybe possibly a more interactive live show afterwards, please let the admins know. We're trying to create other content, but also we want to be there for you guys. And so please let us know if you have any feedback or any interest that we could, you know, improve on. So we appreciate it.
And
Yes.
all of us here is like one big giant brain hive, a mind hive, because we always come up with ideas of what we want to do for future shows too. So
I'll be honest, that's freaking me out a little bit, but I see where you're going with that.
With what?
well, you talk about me.
That we're all one hive mind.
Yeah. But until then, everyone have a great night. Let us know what your plans are for Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. Tune in for our episode next week on Wednesday. We'll make the announcement of a time as soon as possible. Nora wants to take a nap.
Whichever store has the best discount. No, I'm just kidding. Kind of.
But good night and see you next week.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.